This review is made possible by Gerald Kia in Naperville. Gerald's outstanding staff is ready to find the perfect car for you. Whether it be new or used, your next car is waiting for you at Gerald Kia.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2023 Kia Sportage X-Pro. Up front is a 2.5 liter inline 4 and down below is an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this here Kia Sportage X-Pro for a couple of reasons, but mainly the fact that it is the X-Pro. I've already reviewed the regular Kia Sportage from 2023 and I'll leave that video at the end of this one if you'd like to compare trim levels, but the X-Pro is a more off-road oriented, a more enthusiast oriented trim level of the new Kia Sportage. It gets some new features and it's brand new for 2023, so let's dig into it. But before we get on to anything else, I have a website, zackpradel.com, where you can buy stickers like this retro sticker pack or big friggin' bottle sticker, both with free shipping. You could also submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me through a quick and easy submission form, and you could read my behind the scenes blog to see what I'm filming before it comes out on the channel. But before we get on to the engine and transmission, let's talk about what comes in the X-Pro package. What makes this Sportage different than any other one? Well, right off the bat on the outside, you'll notice the 17-inch alloy wheels, as well as the BF Goodrich all-terrain tires. A lot chunkier of a tire, which does make the road noise while driving on normal roads a little bit louder, but honestly, it's not that noticeable. It also gets the all-wheel drive system with the center locking differential. That comes standard on the X-Pro. Now you can spec that on other all-wheel drive Sportages, but when you buy the X-Pro, it's all-wheel drive with the center locking diff. It also comes with other features standard like the 12.3-inch dual panoramic displays, the panoramic sunroof and power sunshade, the smart power tailgate, the Harman Kardon speakers, and the heated steering wheel and windshield. So it is a nicer package. You get a couple of features standard that are optional on other vehicles, but mainly it's the wheels and tires and the higher focus on the off-roading. But let's get back to that 2.5 liter inline 4. Well, it makes about 187 horsepower, which isn't anything crazy. However, I definitely think it's adequate enough for a vehicle of this size. I compare this a lot to the Mazda CX-5, which makes actually the exact same horsepower. So in terms of the industry standard, this is right there. Like I said, paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, which is very interesting because other competitors like the Honda Passport, I'll be talking about a little bit later on, that comes with a CVT, but this is a tried and true 8-speed automatic, and I really like it. Last but not least, the X-Pro is 4-wheel drive, and we'll talk about some settings that go along with that a little bit later on. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, we have one of those 12.3-inch displays. On the left is my speedometer, on the right is my tachometer, and then I get a bunch of information all around, of course, which I can switch in the gauge cluster. I'll cycle through a couple of things here, a couple different information screens I can look at, which is very nice. Kia has really stepped up their game when it comes to these. In years past, the previous Sportage just had like a little black and white screen. This is miles ahead of the previous generation. And of course, it has my favorite Kia feature, something I think should be featured on every car, is when you turn on the turn signal, your gauge turns into a blind spot camera for that side of the vehicle. It happens both with the speedometer and the tachometer. This adds so much safety to the Sportage. I really don't know why more brands don't do this, but Kia's been doing this for a couple of years, and I always praise them for it. I think it's fantastic. On the steering wheel, on the left, I have my voice commands mode, phone options, as well as volume and skip track. And on the right, I have my pages and cruise control settings. This does have radar cruise control, which is really nice, as well as it does have lane keep assist. The overall look and feel of the steering wheel, very nice. It is leather wrapped. It has the new Kia badge in the center, which I still think looks like K backwards N, but that's okay. I really like how modern the steering wheel feels. Off to the left, I have my gauge dimmer switch and tailgate button, as well as traction control and my power parking brake. And on the door, I have 2 different memory seats, something really nice about the X-Pro package, as well as I have my power mirrors, power locks, and power windows windows down below. Moving into the center, we have another 12.3-inch screen, so let's talk about some Kia infotainment. All right, so let's talk Kia Sportage X-Pro infotainment. Of course, we do get to enjoy that huge 12.3-inch screen, but we could do a bunch of stuff. So I can come over here to media and look at FM, Sirius XM, USB music, Sounds of Nature, AM, and of course Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Sounds of Nature is one of my favorite features here in Kia vehicles. It's just a bunch of basically white noise. This is a lively forest. I can go to calming sea waves, rainy day, open air cafe, warm fireplace, snowy village, and of course, we're back to lively forest. I wish Kia would add a couple more of these. They've had the same sounds for the last couple of years, but hey, it's not the end of the world. Coming back here to home, we get to see all of these awesome app icons. I always praise Kia for having really cool design in their infotainment system. I just realized the lively forest is still going. One of my favorite things is quiet mode, so it'll reduce the radio noise as well as focus the noise on the driver instead of the passenger. So if you have a sleeping kid in the back or something like that, you don't disturb them. But other than that, nothing too crazy. Something I do want to point out is that I do have these parking cameras. So this is a rear-facing camera at the moment, but we do get a top-down view, which is fantastic. Again, for any trail use, this can also be very helpful. We could also come over here and get an exterior view. Now, all Kia Sportages in this view are white. This car just happens to actually be white in real life, so that's kind of cool, but I can sort of spin it around, and you can see I have some of these barrels off to my left, spin it around here. You can see it's a rather rainy day, and I think Kia does a very good job at stitching this together. That is, quite frankly, where the car is. Look at this shot, and then look at this real-life shot. That's pretty similar. Plus, I parked over these parking spaces because sometimes you can notice when car companies don't stitch things together perfectly, these lines will sort of be jagged. You can see they sort of, a little bit, they go a little sideways here, like right there. You can notice that slightly, but honestly, I think they do a really good job. And I can also switch between a couple of views this way. Really fantastic camera system and something I really love about the X-Pro Sportage. Down below that, I have 2 climate control vents and the hazard switch. And then, of course, I get my climate controls themselves. Dual zone climate, my defrost, where to send it. This is a touch screen, which is really cool, has a very modern look. We'll see how well they hold up over the years, but for now, I think it looks really special. However, there is a little party trick with this that's shared with Kia's new EV6. You can click this little arrow, and now this is your radio settings. So map, navigation, seek, track, radio. The traditional Kia options you would get with your infotainment system are now in a touchscreen, and it shares a space with the climate controls. I think this is very interesting and a great use of space from Kia. Down below, I have a 12-volt outlet, 2 USBs in, a USB-C for charging, and a traditional USB for the infotainment system. And I have a wireless charging pad down below, which is fantastic. Moving on to the center console of the start-stop switch and the shifter itself. The shifter is shared with a lot of other Kia products currently being made, which is to be expected, and I overall like it. But then down below that, we have a bunch of really interesting options. So we do have a couple of drive modes. We have normal, sport, smart, and snow. What I love about this is that sport mode gets its own gauge cluster style. I really like that. And this does come with snow mode. Part of the X-Pro package is that additional mode. Then I have hill descent control, auto hold, automatic start stop, my parking camera button and parking sensor button, as well as I do have my center locking diff button. By pushing down that drive mode select knob, you actually get to lock your center diff, something that a lot of other cars in this segment don't offer, but Kia is very good at offering. You can also get a center locking diff on the Kia Seltos, a arguably less off-road oriented vehicle, but still gets a center locking diff. Pretty interesting. Off to the right of all of that, we do have our heated and ventilated seat options as well as heated steering wheel option. I love how these buttons look. For some reason, some auto companies put the heated steering wheel in weird places. It's usually an afterthought, but this is very symmetrical, and I think it looks good. But then we do have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the Kia Sportage X-Pro, and just like the regular Kia Sportage from 2023, the big friggin' bottle fails. It's too big to fit in these little extra wings, but too small to fit in the container as a whole. So it's the opposite of a Goldilocks situation. Then I do get a center console with nothing inside of it. However, it is comfortable to rest my arm on. And then we got to talk about the seats. The seats have this really nice stitched pattern in them, sort of a almost like feather stitched pattern. It's very interesting and I like them a lot. However, you can go up with the X-Pro and get nicer seats. However, these are the seats in this car. Speaking of seats, however, we do have back seats. So let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2023 Kia Sportage X-Pro. And a couple of things to note back here. First of all, I don't know if I didn't notice this on the regular Sportage or not, but this actually has some handles that you can grab onto back here, which is very, very nice. Knee room, fantastic. Headroom, fantastic. I also get to enjoy this nice panoramic sunroof standard on the X-Pro package. Obviously, latch to get in and out, power windows, my own vents back here. I don't get my own climate controls, but at least I can change the vent location. I also get chargers on the back of either seat. I do have a fold-out center console with 2 cup holders. That's pretty much it. Nothing really too crazy, but as I say in a lot of my reviews, this is sort of the perfect size of SUV for me because it's a little bit bigger than like the Seltos, which is also a 2-row SUV, but it's not yet at that 3rd row size. So you get tons of great back seat space, but you're not trying to cram for a 3rd row. Sometimes some vehicles, when they try to cram in a 3rd row, which is a nice feature to have, but it sort of sacrifices the 2nd row. Not here. This is a great, great size. Speaking of where a 3rd row would be, let's go take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, around the back of the Kia Sportage X-Pro, and here on the key fob, we do have the power tailgate. Again, a standard feature on the X-Pro. But once we do come in here, plenty of space back here, and what I always look for is the 12-volt outlet, which is just fantastic. 2nd row of seats does fold down with the push of a button right here. Down here, I do get a donut spare tire, which I would have liked to have seen a full-size spare just because this is a more off-road oriented vehicle, but that's okay. But once we fold that back down, tons and tons of space for all of your luggage, camping gear, whatever it might be here in the back of the X-Pro Sportage. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and the first thing you notice, at least for me on a car like this, is the BF Goodrich tires and the 17-inch alloys. I do think this car looks a lot more off-road ready. I think it looks good, I think it looks ready for anything, and I like that a lot. The white color is not my favorite, honestly. If I were to buy this car, I would not get it in the white. Kia is offering some really cool colors, and I would highly recommend seeking out the other interesting colors before the white. But if you like white cars, here you go. Here's what it looks like in white. But now let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think of the X-Pro package? Well, I like it a lot. This car is not a hardcore off-roader. However, Kia doesn't advertise it as such. I mentioned earlier that we would talk about it, but let's talk about the Honda Passport Trail Sport. I really liked that car. I did. However, Honda marketed that car as a hardcore off-roader, and it just wasn't. Every car manufacturer right now making SUVs is trying to do some type of off-roady version of their lineup. Honda has the Trail Sport. Toyota has the TRD Pro. Mazda even went out and made their own version of a car. The CX-50 is supposed to be the more off-road oriented SUV. And so now Kia is getting in on the action with the X-Pro package. Is it a crazy off-roader that will survive the hardest, most treacherous trails in Moab, Utah? No, it's not. But for someone that likes a little bit more adventure in their life, someone that tends to drive down gravel roads a lot. Personally, I know you wouldn't expect it from looking at me, but my girlfriend and I really enjoy hiking. We are national park enthusiasts. We love going to national parks. And oftentimes, a lot of the trails up and down the mountain aren't paved. Are they the craziest trails? No. We did them in my little Mazda 3. But would I have liked a little bit extra ride height for some of the harder bumps? Of course. Would I have liked a slightly beefier tires? Of course. And I think that's where this car would really come into its own. This is for the casual outdoors enthusiast. You want a Kia Sportage, but you think, I would maybe like a little bit better tires. I would like a little bit more ruggedness here and there. Well, then that's what the X-Pro package is for. This is not a Jeep. This is not a Bronco. This is not a Hummer. It's a great car with a couple added fun features. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Gerald Kia in Naperville for letting me take out their X-Pro. This was absolutely awesome. Gerald Kia in Naperville is awesome. They have a lifetime warranty on their vehicles. They have great customer service. We've been working together for years, and I'm very thankful for them letting me take out this car at such short notice. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.